Hey y'all, so we're gonna rip through a chest, biceps, and triceps workout. It's gonna be grueling. We're gonna put you through it. You gotta hang in there for the hell of a ride. So let's go. Getting a little pump. Chest is definitely one of my most lagging muscle groups because my shoulders, when I was younger, would just take over everything. And I'm not gonna say I was quarter repping, but I definitely was not going as deep into the stretch as I do now. So now the studies are showing that the deeper you go into the stretch, the more chest you're gonna go ahead and recruit, because the bottom half is gonna be all chest, and then the mid to top half is all tricep. So I used to be full range, but my triceps weren't strong enough for the weight to go ahead and get as much chest. If I would have just stayed in the bottom half repetitions, I probably would have recruited more chest. I built a lot more of my chest through powerlifting though, because you do have to hit full range of motion. And the goal of that is just to get stronger. The things you'll build from powerlifting are gonna be a big back, a big chest, and big glutes. But yeah, we're gonna go into that next one. Should be a pretty easy set, considering the other two were easy as far as how I made them look, because it was 3 sets of the full 12 repetitions, and we're normally supposed to hit somewhere in between. But I feel pretty confident that I might get a really good amount of repetitions with the hundreds. Hopefully I don't just get like 2 or 3, because that'd be a shame, but it would be more than what I usually do. So let's see. As you get stronger and stronger, for each amount of weight that you're gonna do on a dumbbell bench press or a dumbbell shoulder press, for instance, like, you gotta get really good at using your momentum and using your technique. So you're gonna notice that I'm the type of person to go ahead and use one knee to bop the weight up, and then the second. There's people that do both. That's fine, whatever your personal preference is. I'm not gonna say change it to my side, that my side is better or worse, but after you do it for a while, it becomes a habit. So just be mindful of which way you're doing it, so you know your technique, and then you can master it, and then it's kind of just like a habit. But you'll see once I throw these up, it's gonna be my left, my right, so it's kind of like you're rehearsing, and then you'll be able to set up the way that you want to. I pick up my hips to go ahead and punch and shove my upper back into the bench as much as possible. And then I'll push into the floor after, spread my toes out to dig my butt into the bench to cause as much stability as possible. Because if you know a thing or two about building muscle mass, is that to recruit the most amount of muscle mass, you have to build a stable foundation and a stable base. So that's what I'm trying to recreate in the incline bench press and every movement that I do, kind of make it like a machine. So the rest, all I have to worry about is my elbows getting in a slight 45-degree angle, not going ahead and pushing all into the shoulders, but really stretching out the pecs and then squeezing and contracting at the top, so that I can make the most optimal gains using the most amount of weight. Now, the form and technique is not gonna be perfect You're not only gonna recruit chest here if it's one of your heavier sets and you're not as strong as far as like keeping technique wise. So like it's crucial for you to move this weight for as many reps as possible, maintaining a justifiable amount of form so that you can still push to failure and still stay sort of science-based without leaving any gains on the table. What we're gonna do here is we just blew some energy over there. So you have to conserve your energy as much as possible when you're going into the new working sets. So we're trying a reverse pyramid set. So we're gonna do a reverse pyramid set. And what that just means is that we're starting with the highest weight possible and we're going for as many reps as possible. Still shooting for that 8 to 12 rep range. I'm not gonna be mad if I start taking 6s around there, but 225 on a Smith machine is gonna feel a little bit lighter and I should be able to go ahead and rep this out. Eye on the prize here, go for it all and push as much as you can. But yeah, we're just conserving energy and we're trying to take about 3 working sets here. So we're starting as heavy as possible. So let's see how it feels. I got under it a little bit too low, so shoulders were a bit cramped up. Still secured about like 9 repetitions or 10 repetitions. I don't really know, but still felt good on it, just was congested down there. So I'm gonna fix the setup now, get a little bit lower on it. But the reason that we started with the incline chest press, for some reason, I get a massive pump on the incline over the flat barbell or any other type of variation. So today I decided to go ahead and dig in with the incline. Now we're going for a Smith machine bench press. Now some people aren't gonna be as fortunate to have a Smith machine or something like that at their home gym or wherever you're at. But what I'm replicating here is like a machine at the gym. Because the Smith machine is gonna be the most stable base and foundation to go ahead and push, where like a regular commercial gym, if we had a hammer strength or a hoist, we could just push in a neutral position or pushing straight through with a regular chest press and push it to failure. That's what I'm doing here. So I hit approximate failure, not really, it was just technical failure, but I was getting close there. So that's something that I could just go ahead and drop. You know, you're not gonna wanna do close to failure bench presses and things like that. Yeah, you wanna push your 1 rep maxes, and if you can do so with a spotter or something like that, go for it. But if you're not, then you wanna stay safe, because the bench press is one of those lifts that will ultimately kill you if you miss. And you're not supposed to be necessarily missing lifts on a bench press if your goal is to get stronger. If you're at 185 and you want to get to 205, missing a bunch of 205 sets are not going to lock in 205. It's actually completing the sets from 185 to 190 to 205 to 210. You actually want to complete those reps. So actually building a habit of always missing on the bench can potentially hurt you as far as building up that true strength. But yeah, we'll go ahead and dig into this one.
Up and at 'em.
Goddamn. That was a very hard rep. Thought my eyes were gonna explode. But very worth the set. Yeah, so I think I got like 6, maybe 5 reps, powerlifting mode, no. But gonna go back down to 225, secure the repetitions, and then pull down with a drop set. We're gonna start the next exercise. Believe it or not, I set the timer up for like an hour, and we're 30 minutes in. For a power lifter, 30 minutes would be your main compound movement. So you might spend like 10 sets on a squat. So for a bodybuilder to establish like that you're moving at a pretty good pace, you're gonna be like 3, 4 exercises down halfway through your workout. So I'm 2 exercises down, but a lot of the next ones coming up are a lot of supersets. So the intensity is gonna rise, I'm gonna start to get sweaty, but what's gonna be beneficial there is that I really run through those accessory exercises and I kind of know a gist of where I can be and where I can't be. So if I'm like gonna do some bicep curls with 70 pounds or something like that, I know I'm gonna start off there and I'm not gonna really shoot for technical failure. I'm not gonna shoot for like a failure where my technique is trash. I'm gonna shoot for my muscular failure as far as like, okay, if I have 70 pounds, my arms are still going, I'm gonna push for more repetitions or check the angles of my elbows so that I can go ahead and really maximize the set. But yeah, let's dig in, let's get something else here. All right, so we got some interesting movements in for the next one. Funny thing is, I go to a mainstream gym and the decline is never available. But here, we got a decline. It sucks to set up, so I swapped the exercise from a decline bench and a decline dumbbell bench press just to do some chest flies. And I will superset my chest flies with a decline skull crusher. The reason we're gonna do the dumbbell skull crusher, it's not optimal for loading, but it's optimal for the stretch. So I've noticed way more tricep gains now that I've been focusing on that stretch position. And you can even see the tricep when it's fully lengthened, and then when you fully contract it. Now a regular skull crusher would be through here to here, but we're gonna go ahead and push that elbow further up and back to get a longer stretch. And then your main focus is not to let those elbows flare, but to squeeze them in as you go down and then contract them. Naturally, your elbows are gonna wanna flare out through here. So that's why a barbell would just constrict you, but these dumbbells will feel a little bit more natural. And I'm pretty good with going really heavy on chest flies. It's not really the best recommendation that I can give you because, like I said, my chest development was lagged, but I do see good chest gains. When I do really heavy chest flies, I don't do them anymore, but I've chest flied up to 80 pounds which sounds outrageous, but you can do it. Anybody can do it. And I'm gonna go lighter just to get under that chest and fully contract it at the top. I'm getting a pump. I'm starting to see some split here. So a lot of people are concerned about this inner chest development here. Just get stronger on your bench pressing movements, your dumbbells, change the angle, but keep the rotation consistent over time, at least 1 to 2 lifts where you can gradually track so that you know, okay, I'm going up in weight or I'm not. And then you can make more superior gains. But if you're constantly trying new variations, then you don't really know if you're getting better or worse, because every time you do start something new, you're like, oh, well, let me ease into it. Let me take it a little slow. But if you have standard movement and you progress it over time, let's say a dumbbell chest press, you start with 30s and then 10 years later, you're at the hundreds, arguably you made gains because you got stronger. But we'll set this up for the decline. So a lot of people will feel that, you know, shoulder pain right there, through there, when they're doing their chest flies like I did on my last set. And I was going pretty hard, getting a pump, but I had to pull back. I'm not gonna necessarily go lighter, but I'm gonna be more mindful of where my shoulder's headed and going. Sometimes you're not gonna always be able to take it out of the movement. So that's why you wanna make sure that you're trying to isolate the chest as much as possible by retracting the shoulders back and down and really opening up that chest. And your elbow is gonna come close to the sternum, so that's gonna be the main focus. So trying to recruit that as much as possible. If you're shoulder dominant, they're gonna naturally start to round and try to save you. So really try to pull them back and keep them down and out, which will make that movement a lot harder, but a lot safer. So this will be my last set. It was getting intense because I was going straight from one set to the next set to the next set without break, because it was just chest versus triceps, chest versus triceps, chest versus tricep. So while the chest was resting, they're still utilizing each other, but it was an isolation tricep exercise. So we'll finish this one up and then we're moving on to biceps and triceps. It's okay that there's a lot of exercises because you're gonna notice that it's a lot of tricep. It just means 3 exercises put together, or giant sets, kind of like intensity effort. All right, so we just ran through a workout. I wrote it out yesterday. I didn't think it was going to be that hard, and it was pretty tough. So we hit that incline chest press to start that upper chest, start to get a pump there. I really enjoy leading with the incline because I feel like I get a lot of mind muscle connection for the first half, even sometimes more than the flat. And then when we switched over to a flat, I was trying to replicate something that I would do in a machine, like a machine press. So I went ahead and used the Smith. We did about 3 sets, 8 to 12 repetitions. Started to drop off around 6 and then pulled back with a drop set. So I just dropped about 10 to 15% of the weight and started to drop off weight over and over again and hit that drop set with lighter loads and more repetitions to really fill out the rest of the chest and really give the maximum amount of effort in my biggest compound movement. Then I dropped off to a superset of decline dumbbell skull crushers. They feel great. I still feel the pump off of those. The reason being is that you get more flexibility to really get into a big stretch position, and then supersetted with the decline chest fly, being that it's hard sometimes to go ahead and get that set up in a regular gym. If you are at a commercial gym, that's just one of those major keys that is lost based on whether the decline bench is functioning or not. And then I had a giant set of arms. Now this one was the most brutal, and I'll say that it was high repetition, kind of failure everywhere, but the mindset was pushing 15 to 25 repetitions, as these are just single joint muscles, so they can burn out with really high repetitions. What I mean from that is the front of the arms, the back of the arms, the biceps, triceps, hitting those to failure each one. So I did some reverse curls. I did some incline bicep curls to get the elbows behind me, changing the angle, so one in front, one to the side. And then I went over and hit some triceps, gave them a little bit of a break. Just a tricep push down. It can be with a rope or a straight bar. And then drop that cable down for a easy bar curl, so I can go ahead and hit my curls with my elbow at the side of my body. So hitting them at different angles because I want to grow massive arms, and that's what's going to secure the pump. And the pump was definitely secured. There was no rest in between. If you can get away with doing something like that, I definitely believe that you're gonna go ahead and put on some muscle mass there. You're gonna rip through blood flow. You're gonna rip through old muscle mass, especially if you're using lighter or heavier weights. You're gonna make gains. But that is the recap of this workout. It's chest, biceps, and triceps. If you like this type of content, leave a comment, like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, so we can keep making more of this type of content for you. If you want to see a leg day, if you want to see a back day, drop a comment below. Let me know what you want to see. I'll be doing some cooking videos soon too. But yep, check out the other videos that we have in store for you, and we're going to keep pumping out some great quality content.